As the last wisp of twilight gave way to the inky darkness of Halloween night, a hush fell over the small, seemingly serene town of Hollowbrook. The crisp autumn air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and the street lamps cast eerie, elongated shadows on the cobblestone streets. Children, clad in elaborate costumes, had just begun their annual quest for sugary treasures. But for a few, this Halloween would be anything but ordinary. Morgan, a dedicated young journalist, had arrived in Hollowbrook to cover the town's enigmatic history. Known for its dark past, the town was home to tales of restless spirits, a haunted mansion, and a sinister Halloween tradition. Morgan was skeptical about such stories, dismissing them as mere legends to entertain gullible locals. As the night descended into a cocoon of darkness, Morgan set out to interview the town's residents. The Hollowbrook locals were not forthcoming with information. They spoke in hushed whispers and sidestepped his inquiries with nervous glances. His persistence eventually led him to an old, reclusive woman named Eliza, who resided in a quaint cottage on the outskirts of town. Eliza, with her crooked spine and pale, translucent skin, greeted Morgan with a solemn nod. She beckoned him inside, the dimly lit room filled with the aroma of herbs and aged books. "Spirits are agitated tonight," she said, her voice trembling. "You must leave before it's too late." Morgan, intrigued and undeterred, pressed on. "Agitated spirits? What do you mean?" Eliza hesitated for a moment, then began to recount the town's sinister history. Decades ago, on Halloween night, the townsfolk would gather in the nearby woods for a secret ritual. The ritual was an offering to the ancient spirits that inhabited the land, meant to protect the town from evil. But Eliza's voice grew darker as she described how the tradition had changed over time. The spirits, once benevolent, had grown malevolent, and the offerings had shifted from livestock to human sacrifices. "Tonight," she whispered, "the town will gather in the woods again to appease the spirits and ensure another year of safety." As the clock struck midnight, Morgan decided to follow the townsfolk to the woods, determined to unveil the truth behind Eliza's unsettling tale. Concealing himself in the shadows, he watched as they formed a grim procession, their lanterns casting eerie glows on their faces. The woods were a macabre sight, with ancient trees that seemed to twist and reach out for the sky. The townsfolk gathered around a massive gnarled oak, and their murmured chants grew louder. At the base of the tree, a gaping hole was revealed, revealing a pitch-black abyss. As Morgan squinted, he could see shapes moving within it, and the air grew colder with each passing moment. Suddenly, one of the townsfolk, a young woman, was pushed into the hole, her screams echoing into the night. The crowd continued their chant, their faces twisted with madness. Morgan's heart raced as he realized the horrifying truth. The town had descended into darkness, and Eliza's tale was no mere legend. Panicking, Morgan fled the scene, determined to escape the malevolent spirits that now roamed the woods. The shadows grew closer, the trees themselves reaching for him, their branches like skeletal fingers. In the distance, he could hear the townsfolk's demented laughter, and he knew that his life hung in the balance. As Morgan stumbled back into town, the first rays of dawn began to break the night's spell. He was left with a haunting truth he could never reveal, a Halloween horror story that was far too real, and a town forever shrouded in darkness.